For most of human history, faking something required effort. Props, disguises, and a bit of good old-fashioned theatre. You know the drill, a wig here, a moustache there, maybe even a shiny lunar lander, a US flag, and a well-painted backdrop of the Earth, if you had the budget. But then come Hollywood, and suddenly we had explosions that never happened, dinosaurs stomping through cities and entire galaxies, conjured from green screens and CGI wizardry. But crucially, we were in on the trick. Special effects were the magician's sleight of hand, and the cinema was the stage where we expected reality to be bent. Now fast forward to this week, when I mentioned Tilly Norwood, the AI actress currently ruffling feathers in Hollywood, and as predicted, the brilliant minds across my social channels were neatly divided between the amazed, the sceptical, and the horrified. Exactly the dialogue and thought process I wanted to open. Now, I love technology and I love AI. How could you not? But I also think it's worth pausing to reflect on the disruption that it brings. Take Sora 2 for example. Now, on the surface, it looks like a toy. You type in a prompt and suddenly you're surfing on Mars or starring in your own spaghetti western. But that same tool, the tool that lets you cast yourself in a sci-fi blockbuster, also lets someone else cast you in a crime scene, or a political scandal, or heaven forbid, an advert banning pineapple on pizza. And just like that, the old rule of seeing is believing completely collapses. And I can already guess what you're thinking. Relax Dan, we can spot the fakes. And for now, you're probably right. But give it 18 months, perhaps 2 years. Can you honestly say that you'll still be so confident? Because to me, the real question isn't whether we can make convincing deepfakes. It's whether we can trust anything we see at all. And let's be honest, humanity doesn't always cover itself in glory when handed a powerful new technology. Already we're seeing the internet flooded with sexualized and resurrected celebrity images. Of course, clever people are working on solutions. There's cryptographic watermarks, there's digital signatures, there's new verification standards, all of which are very sensible. But unless they're adopted quickly and universally, tools like this won't just change how we make videos, they'll change how we believe them. And that's the bit that really matters. Because once trust collapses, it doesn't just ruin Hollywood blockbusters or silly TikToks. It seeps into courtrooms, into newsrooms, and into the way we talk to each other online. History suggests that we will adapt. We can spot forged banknotes, and we've built spam filters. We've even learned to live with the idea that photographs are probably airbrushed. But video was always our gold standard, and tools like this are hammering cracks into that foundation. So yes, we can watermark, legislate, regulate and educate. But the deeper challenge is cultural. It's about rewiring our instincts, teaching ourselves and more importantly our children, who by showing me a deep fake of Tupac and Biggie wrestling in a WWE match prompting today's rant, we need to teach them that video is no longer proof. It's just evidence. And like any evidence, it needs to be questioned, tested and verified.